What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Nerdgasm. This is going to be the Nerdgasm review for the newest episode of The Flash, and as soon as the episode starts, my goodness, of course, you can't even go 5 seconds with the multiverse being back until someone decides to rob Jitters, and of course...
Dude, we just reopened. There's barely anything in there.
Really?
But you know what? Don't let that barista tell you how to bank robber. You don't walk in there and tell her how to make coffee. And it just wouldn't be the Flash if he didn't show up late. You know what I'm saying? Fastest man alive can never be on time. Hilarious trope that they will never get rid of. And over back at Star Labs, Cisco, who's losing his mind over the recreation of Earth Prime, has this beautiful little map that I am just so happy to talk about because, first of all, we get Happy Harbor. And if you know anything about Young Justice, you know that that's where the Young Justice base was. You have Metropolis, Freeland, Black Lightning, which is amazing, so glad he's finally on this Earth, Star City, National City, Gotham, Santa Prisca, which is another prominently featured area in Young Justice, San Monte, Markovia, which is back to Black Lightning. So if you're not watching Black Lightning, I mean, you need to get on that. That show is really freaking good. Dinosaur Island, which is kind of self-explanatory. It's literally an island filled with animals that should be extinct, but they're not. And apparently that island might have weird connections to the center of the world. We'll see if they actually dig into that. But honestly, my favorite place that's on this board is Kui Kui Kui. And you know what? It's not fun unless you say it all 3 times. But the reason that Kui 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 is amazing is because that's the place that Blue Beetle and Booster Gold tried to run a casino in the comic books. And that casino did not go well. The thing that kind of sucks is that because Cisco doesn't have his vibe powers, he doesn't know that there's still a multiverse out there, and it's not only Earth Prime anymore. But you know what's the best thing about Cisco not having his vibe powers? We know that his hands will forever be safe. If you didn't watch Season 3, you probably don't understand that. Then we have the amazing metahuman villain trading cards that Cisco somehow put together overnight. And you know what? The best part about this is that they brought back a lot of villains that were probably killed or not used to their full potential, and a comic book accurate Dr. Light, who is also the villain in this episode. And her powers are not comic book accurate, but that's fine. Dr. Light don't need a gun.
Cause it looks like you locked Nash in the closet.
I'm pretty sure that there's an R. Kelly song about that, isn't there? But I don't want to play it because copyright. So even though Arrow is over, Diggle is back and he is on the Flash, and I'm sure Diggle's gonna show up in a bunch of other shows. But God forbid we see Diggle with the ring because, you know, CW doesn't feel like we deserve Green Lantern love. But you know what? I know it's there. You can't hide it from me. Barry thinks that this mask left by Oliver is some kind of clue because, well, you can probably guess the reason. He really wants to feel like Oliver's leaving him signals so that he can do something for Oliver because Oliver is dead. But if you've seen stuff like this before, then you know that that mask is honestly a hella red herring. Why does everybody meet in parking garages? Parking garages do not have good security. It's hella open. The only thing that has worse security than parking garages is Star Labs. Now that the crisis is over and Iris has this booming article about Barry not being dead, she has to keep, you know, working like everybody else. And she decides to have this secret meeting where we learn that there is someone out there killing people who is a fan of Xenon because that is exactly where they got those clothes. Someone broke into Disney and stole those clothes straight out of the Xenon movie storage. But it looks like the main bad guy here is going to be Black Hole. And if you've read the comics, then you'll know that Black Hole is actually the reason that a Speed Force storm was started in Central City to begin with. And that Speed Force storm gave a bunch of people powers, created Godspeed, and led to Barry having to train a bunch of speedsters to use their powers, even though Godspeed ends up killing all of them. So it turns out that Mirakuru is on the mask that Oliver left Barry, and you know what that means? We're going to Lian Yu. And probably one of the best parts about Earth Prime, and probably something Oliver really took into consideration, is that Lian Yu is now finally just an island. Oh no, don't shoot the car or anything, because it definitely had to take her at least 30 seconds to get in, start the car, back up, and then, you know, almost hit you. But that's cool. You don't need to kill her or anything, right? After Iris survives that entirely plot force driven situation, because come on, how did you not hit her? You can clearly see that Iris is upset about something else, not just the article. And it's probably dealing with the fact that crisis just happened, her husband is not dead, she had to plan around him being dead, and now she does not know how to move on and her brain is just racing. And she's putting herself in harm's way, which is something that she did before when she thought Savitar was gonna kill her.
Evil light doctor.
So we've got a brand new, more powerful, murder-happy Dr. Light on our hands.
Oh my god, they named the villain, they called her Dr. Light. Yes, I mean, I called that back with the trading card thing, but you know, not everybody reads the comics. That's fine. That's why we're here.
No, this can't be right. I searched the whole island 12 times.
Take the win, man. There's no more Mercuru left, Barry. No.
Once again, I'm gonna say this, it's awesome that Oliver did not do anything with that island. Everything is done. Everything that the island had to deal with the Arrowverse is done with Arrow. It's sad that Barry is not exactly happy about this because, you know, he feels like Oliver's dead and he wants to keep doing whatever he can do because of Oliver's death. This is another thing that he's dealing with that also Iris is dealing with. You just have to slow down and accept what's happened and then move on from there. The parallels are really sweet if you think about it. We have Cisco blaming himself because he gave up his vibe powers, and honestly, I was very sad when Cisco decided not to be vibe anymore because, you know, come on, vibe is amazing. But it makes sense why he did. He wants a regular life. You shouldn't have to feel bad about giving up your powers. I think the reasoning was a little slow, but it's fine. But this part right here really got me.
When the monitor gave me my powers back for Crisis, I remembered how powerful I used to be.
No one on this show lives up to their full potential with powers, so honestly, this was not Cisco's fault. Vibe can do so many things. Barry is stupid fast. Superman should pretty much be policing half the planet. Cisco, you did not do anything wrong. Don't worry. And then we have Joe West finally showing up, and I am so glad that Joe West is still the voice of reason on this show. I'm glad that with everything happening, Joe is finally seeing that people still need him. He is still relevant. This man has mad experience that even though he's not a superhero, this guy has seen some stuff, and he can still help out the people that he calls family.
心配しないで。2回失敗することはないから。
I don't think you should say that. I don't think that should be like your official catchphrase because there are people who just don't miss. I'm just saying. And then she gets played hella hard because the whole thing was a setup. And I'm just gonna say this right here. Nice ice. Killer Frost is definitely killing it. But she actually didn't kill anybody here. No, that's the crazy part. But even though she doesn't kill anybody, Killer Frost is still amazing because somehow she can freeze the black hole bullet and then just pull it out of her, but it clearly does leave her paralyzed. So, you know, I'm gonna say on a scale of 1 to 10, we'll give it an 8.5, just because she couldn't move afterward. And with everything wrapped up in, I wouldn't say a neat little bow, I'm gonna say kind of like a half-assed done bow because there's still stuff to happen. Cisco decides that he's gonna go exploring, and the last person that went exploring, Wally West, it didn't end well. And I know they say they're not getting rid of Cisco, but please don't get rid of Cisco. He is the only Latino representation we have. But I can't believe I'm gonna say this. The craziest thing that actually happened in this episode is Iris's house level brilliance that just comes out of nowhere when she walks past the mirror and she just realizes that it says Ava, and then she figures out that she needs to go back to the science building and then break into that office. How did you get this? How did this make any sense? Because there was EV2 back there. That doesn't spell anything. I did it like an idiot in the mirror and it just looks stupid. It says Tuva. Who's Tuva? I don't get it. All I know is that Iris gets sucked into the mirror, and you know what? If this is anything like the comic books when Wally West got sucked into that mirror dimension, there's an evil Iris coming out of that mirror, and it is gonna be crazy because evil Iris probably knows Barry's secret. So let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Put it in the comment section below. Goodbye.